Well, I'm excited to welcome you to the next section of the Trading Mastery training, where we'll cover Forex in detail. And the goal of this training, as with all of our training, but this one specifically, is how to consistently and reliably pull capital from the Forex market with very limited risk. That will be the goal of this training. That's what it's really designed for. And this is an addendum to the foundational training. So I'll be mentioning that here as we move forward. But before we do that, here's a disclaimer. The biggest thing that you need to know is I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I say should not be taken as financial advice. You can pause the video. You can read that over. So definitely read that over for the disclaimer as we move forward here. So here's what we'll cover in this training outline video here. So first up, you're in the intro video right now. We'll do a quick overview, which is this slide right here. We'll talk about why you should trade Forex. I'm really not going to try to convince you to trade Forex other than to say it's one of the best markets to trade. It's a reliable market to trade once you understand how to trade it. You have the right trade ideas in it. The next steps, if you're completely new to Forex, so maybe you've been trading crypto or you're a new trader, I'll share what the next steps are before you actually go through this training here. And in this video, I'll share some foundation or what I call Forex geek stuff. Any market that I trade a wide array of markets. I like to understand how those markets work. And I'll share how you can do some of that research yourself here in this video. I'll share some of the research I've done. This is just a little sampling of the stuff that I like to really stay in tune with to understand. And here's what it comes down to. I'm a technical trader, so I just trade charts. But before I trade a market and I trade heavy in a market, I want to understand how does that market work, or the things that I see in a chart. What potentially made that happen, or how is that happening? So I'm always doing an analysis of what's changing in the market, the different participants, and how they're looking to get an edge on the market. So I'm doing a lot of that stuff. I'll share some of that here. I haven't really shared much of that, but I'll share some of that here at the tail end of this video. Now, the next section will be a Forex primer, and this will be a video that will cover the most important elements that you should have in mind, or a foundation of, when trading Forex. A lot of this will fly in the face of a lot of the Forex commentary and education that you see out there, because it's based on me developing my own edge, me going through hours and hours of training, testing, back testing, and trading the live market, and really understanding how to have an edge in the Forex market, and how most of the things out there, I'd say 70% of the things out there, if not more, are completely false in the Forex market. And it's not that you do the opposite of what is said. It's more you think about it differently. You think about the market movements differently. You think about how things happen in the market differently. So this will be really taking the years of me trading the Forex market and condensing this into a foundational thinking about the things that drive every one of your trades in the Forex market. So this will be one of the most important videos, and it probably will be about an hour and a half long. So it'll be one of those type of videos. So the next section will be training to Forex. And what this is the training that you're in my training is foundational training. It's developed so that you understand how markets work. And I could have done the training on any market. I could have done the training and just focused on the Forex market, but then you still have to translate some of that foundational technical analysis to the market that you're trading. So there's subtle differences in each individual market. So for instance, the foundation of a lot of my training is value channels, and my trading, I should say, is value channels. And what I use those in every market I trade, but there's subtle differences in how you need to look at value channels in the Forex market compared to the crypto market or compared to the equity market. So that's what this training will focus on. It will take the concepts that's already in the foundational training, and then it will adapt them to the Forex market so you understand how to use them in the Forex market. And the next section, we'll get into the technical aspect of trading Forex. We'll cover daily trade ideas. So that will specifically cover daily trade setups, daily, and I've mentioned this in Discord already. I'm going to start to use more trade ideas because I don't like the word trade setups. And the reason for that is because when you use the word trade setups, it puts too much emphasis on the entry aspect of a trade. When I say trade ideas, that covers the holistic aspect of a trade: risk, entry, management, and exit. That is a full trade idea. If you're just thinking about a trade setup or you frame it in that way, then you're putting too much emphasis on one aspect of the trade when you should be thinking about a trade idea. So we'll start doing this here in the Forex. We'll talk about daily trade ideas, and we'll cover some of the best daily trade ideas, how to spot them, how to find them. Swing trade ideas, how to spot swing trade ideas, how to trade them, how to spot them, the best setups. Scalp trade ideas. For those that are in my Discord group already, you know that I scalp the news when Forex comes out. It's one of my favorite things to do. I wish every week had a huge news event in Forex. I share some of my entry methods for scalp trading. This is definitely an advanced strategy, so it's something that you can build up to, but I'll share the scalp trade ideas and how I go about trading and scalping the Forex market. The next section will be algorithmic ideas trading, and this is something that's new for me, at least in the last 6 months, and I'm just now getting to the point where I'm confident in my algorithms to be able to trade at size. So I'm starting to trade my algorithms at size. I've refined them enough, so I'll be sharing how to go about building an algorithmic trading where you're basically just looking at indicators and you're trading off indicators with a rules-based system. So I'll be sharing that, and I'll be sharing some of my algos that one of them that I'm pretty much ready to trade at size here. I'll be sharing that with people in the training. The other thing is I've developed custom indicators for the Forex market. So if you're in the training, you already know how to get access to the custom indicators. So just make sure that you're on the list, and then you'll get access to the custom indicators that I've already created and the ones that I'm working on right now. I've got one in particular that I'm really excited about because it takes a combination of 3 or 4 that I've been using and it combines them to like 1 or 2 signals. So I'm pretty excited about that, but I need another 3 or 4 weeks of testing on that before I officially release it. The other thing is there'll be a Forex Den channel in the Discord group. So this will be specifically about questions in Forex. It's a private, so only people in the training. So you can ask advanced questions. We can have advanced discussions around Forex and setups and everything else. So that will be in there. That's just something I wanted to mention here. What you'll see here is that this is really a contained section because the core training, the foundational training is already there. This is in addition to that. This is how to trade the Forex market specifically. So that's what this training is designed for. So let's move on. Let's talk about why trade Forex. Once again, I'm not trying to convince you, but what I'll say is that one of the great things about Forex is that volatility always exists. And I'm going to probably butcher his last name, but Anton Creel, he had a successful, I think, a reality TV show where he took people in the UK, where he took people from all walks of life, and then he tried to teach them to trade. I think that's where he's most well known, and this is a couple years ago. And you can find this on YouTube. But he has a saying that I've adopted that when I heard it, and I've been through all this training and everything else, it's great training. It's very, I don't want to say highbrow. It's advanced training. It's advanced thinking training. So it's like he starts you in a race car. That's really how it feels with all of the training that I've gone through of his. So with that, he's got a saying that your role as a trader is to capture volatility. And if you really take that to heart, if you're looking to become a trader, if you've at this point in time, you've said that I want to become a trader, then your job as a trader is to capture volatility. And any market that has volatility you should be interested in, you should explore. Because I'm assuming that you're watching this video because you're interested in trading for whatever your goals or reasons, whatever it is. Now, what I would ask is that and I'm going to get a little philosophical here. have you said that this is, if you look at your life and you say that, okay, I've been on this path, but now I've decided to be a trader. So when you've made that decision, is that a decision where there's a Y in the road and you're going in a new direction and now you're a trader? And have you accepted that? And with that acceptance, is it a life-changing event for you? And if it's a life-changing event for you, that means you're going to do the things necessary to be successful. It also means that you're going to start to look at trading as a lifelong ambition. And it's something that the things that you learn on a foundational level, if you learn something, a concept in trading, and you can apply it for the next 10 to 15 to 20 years. So that's one of the great things about trading. It's one of the biggest things that I wish I would have realized that I was a trader 20 years ago. I wish I would have realized that that's really where I need to be positioned, or where I enjoy. Because since I really dove into trading, it's been my passion. It's been what I focused on, and I wish I would have discovered it 20 years ago. So one of those things is, as a trader, you're looking for volatility. You should love volatility. You should thrive on volatility. Now, as a trader, volatility means opportunity. And the Forex market, even the last couple months, the last 6 months, actually has been a very hard, and I'm recording this in, May 2019. The last 6 months have been, I haven't felt it, but a lot of Forex traders, the volatility has been low. So it's been a frustrating trading time for a lot of Forex traders, and they've had to adjust or stay out of the market. I've just adjusted. So I've adjusted to the volatility. I've reduced my profit levels. I've adjusted. So to me, the volatility is still there. It's just not the volatility of what was the normal. So it's one of those things. I share that because volatility and your ability to capture it is one of the, if you can start thinking that way as a trader, you're going to start seeing opportunities to trade and increase your capital, increase your equity growth. So I went on with that topic way more than I anticipated, but just know that the Forex market has some great volatility opportunities that you can capture for profit. The other thing is, it's one of the cleanest markets to trade. And I say that tongue in cheek because every couple of years you'll read in the papers of how so-and-so bank is getting fined for Forex or FX violations or other stuff. When I mean it's the cleanest market, is that it's pretty well regulated. If you go with a good broker, and your execution is going to be good most of the time, you're also going to be able to withdraw profits and everything else. So if you're used to the crypto market, for instance, it's a market that is well regulated. So a lot of your capital risks outside of trading isn't something that that's going to keep you up at night. Not that, I mean, if you're trading crypto, there's a high systemic risk that a lot of things can happen at this point in time. In the Forex market, it could happen that your broker would go out of business, but there's a lot more protections that exist in this market. The other thing is that leverage. You have a huge leverage opportunity. You'll be learning more about that as you go through the training. It's a 24-hour market, except weekends. So it opens on Sunday and then it closes Friday, but it's a 24-hour market. So it's a market that you can adjust around your schedule. If you're used to trading crypto, you're already used to a 24-hour market. This one Forex has a little bit different cycle to it than the crypto market, but that's also an opportunity. Now, I don't think this is a reason to trade Forex, but I know a lot of people that are just getting started with trading have a limited capital and they're looking to grow it. Forex is probably one of the best ways to do that because it's low capital to get started and you have leverage on the low capital. So if you have limited capital, I would almost say that the best way to trade is Forex first, because if you can trade Forex successfully, you're going to be able to grow your equity quicker than with less risk than other markets out there. Number one, if we look at the crypto to Forex, well, crypto is high volatility, very emotional market. But if you can hold your own in the crypto market, your transition to Forex is, in air quotes, easy. It's still trading, so it's still difficult. You still got emotions, still got to develop your edge, but it's an easy transition. Where if you look crypto to equities or stocks, it's challenging because number one, if you have limited capital, you're going to run into the day trade rule. You're going to run into other challenges and what you can trade if you have limited capital. So that crypto to equities is even more of a challenge. There's different market behavior in the equity market. It's a couple more things you need to learn. It's just definitely a different market. So I know it's more challenging. Plus the capital requirements are different. The other thing is crypto to options and futures. Number one, anybody probably watching this video, there's probably about less than 1%, if even that, should be trading futures. So if you're new to trading, don't look at futures. So you can look at options. Options is good for hedging. Once you understand it's a great opportunity. But I find moving from crypto to options, I put futures in there because I trade futures, but I don't think I'm ever going to do a training on futures just because the risk is inherently greater, and it's what's the word I'm looking for? You need to be emotionally steeled to trade futures correctly. And I think that's something that less than 0.5, even less than that, of people that I would ever encounter would be a good candidate for futures trading. So I mention that just because if you're wondering, well, should I look into Forex? Maybe you've been trading crypto. Maybe you're in the training and you're saying, well, should I? I do think that if you're looking to be a trader and that's what you've decided to do, Forex is the next step for you. If you've only been trading crypto, Forex is the next step before you go to stocks and before you go to options. It's really the next step. One thing I will say, and this is just general, is that if you successfully trading crypto, then you could look at equities, stocks for longer term plays. I'm talking about 2 to 5 years, because now you have an understanding, especially if you're in a training, you have an understanding of value channels. So you can be watching a GM, or you can be watching Boeing or whatever else, Disney, and you could be charting that already on value channels and using the fundamental or the technical analysis that you've learned in the training. And you can then apply that to a longer term trade, because then you understand the concept of value. You understand the concept of price action and value channels and everything else. So then you can apply that to a longer term time frame trading in the equity market. I just wanted to share that just because I think that that's one of the benefits that you can start applying right now if you have a longer outlook on your trades in the equity market. So let's say you're completely new to Forex, and let's say that you're a new trader. Now I'm going to share two paths here. Because I'm releasing these videos, these first two videos on YouTube, and I'll probably release a couple of the Forex videos on YouTube, but I'll keep the majority of them in my private training. But let's say you're a new trader, you're new to Forex, and you're not in my training. So you haven't gone through my training. You've watched maybe some of my YouTube videos. So what I would suggest, and I would suggest this to both, is that you go to a different place to learn the foundation of the Forex market. Because what we're going to cover in this training is advanced concepts, and it's going to build upon everything else in the training. So there's a site called Baby Pips. It's one of the best training I've seen. And let me pull up a browser here. So this is the training at Baby Pips. If you go to the education tab, and I kind of went through some of it here just real quick. I went through it, I don't know, a while ago. They've updated it a lot, so it's a lot better now. What I will say about this training is that it does cover Forex, and it gives you a really good foundational understanding of Forex. But it also dives into the technical analysis. And if you're in my training already, I would say ignore half of this stuff in the technical analysis unless you want to recap it or understand it, because half of this stuff is bad advice for trading Forex. So it's good foundational advice. It's standard trading advice. But for instance, this support and resistance level, you don't even want to think about that way in Forex. Fibonacci, if you like Fibonacci, sure, why not? If you like some of this stuff, if you're a brand new trader, yeah, this will help. But I would suggest that most of the stuff that they have in here is you'll want to go through it quickly on the technical side. But when it gets into the stuff around specifically in Forex, that's where you want to pay attention and understand some of that stuff. So this is a good place to start. So if you're a new trader and you're not in my training, I suggest you go to babypips.com. You're going to also get the benefit of learning some basic trading stuff. And I'm just going to be completely upfront. If you follow a lot of the technical analysis stuff that they share on there, you're going to have a very hard time finding an edge in the Forex market. So that's of course, it's my personal opinion. I'm saying it, but I firmly believe that. The next thing is that then do foundational training. Now, I'm keeping this because this is on YouTube. If you're not in my training, then if you're don't want to join my training, find some other way to do foundational training and then go through this Forex training that I'm sharing here. So that's what I would suggest if you're a new trader. That's the best way to do this, because what follows in this training is all advanced concepts. And that's what I'll talk about. So if you're in my training right now and you've gone through my training, maybe you've been in it for a year or so, or maybe you just joined, but you've gone through the foundational training, what I would suggest is you start on my foundational training. My training, and let me jump over to a browser here. So as I jump over to the browser, I just want to show this. So when I say foundational training, everything here except for scalping. So here on the left-hand side, if we go through the training, everything here from the fundamentals to charting 101 to market movements to moving averages, amplitude and change, everything that you see here on the left-hand side, this is all foundational trading. So this is all foundational trading to develop your own trading system, to develop your own edge. So it's important that if you're in the training that you go through this first, because I'm not going to cover many of these concepts in here because they're already covered in the foundational training, but they'll play a factor in having success with the Forex market. So if you're wondering what path to take, this is the path that I suggest you take, which is you go through the foundational training that's already in there. So I know it's quite a bit, but then you'll have a good understanding of any market you're willing to trade. And then to focus on the Forex market, go through the Baby Pips training. Now the technical analysis stuff in there, you can fly right through. If you want to do it for a recap or get a different way of thinking, go ahead. But I would suggest you probably fly right through it. You'll probably look at it and say, yo, this is really basic. I learned advanced stuff. I'm already beyond this. And then come back to the Forex training. So that's the path. Hopefully that's very clear. Foundational training, babypips.com, and then come back to the Forex training. I know that sounds like for people that are like, okay, I'm ready to get started. I'm sharing that because this is the path to success. And I shared the philosophy before. If you've said I'm going to be a trader, this to me is the way to save effort and frustration and to get there as quick as possible. Because when you have a foundational understanding of the markets, and then you've taken what I've taught in the training and you've customized it for yourself. So this is why even in this Forex training, I'm going to be going through my setups. I'm going to be going through how I trade, but it's going to be very clear. I'm going to say, this is how I trade. Now you need to adopt this to your trading. It's not for you to take how I trade and trade like me. No one can do that. No one can trade like another individual. Even someone that's mentored and then follows that mentor very I have people that I've quite a few people now that I've coached one-on-one. Even every person that I've coached one-on-one, even though they're trading off kind of my philosophy, they diverge and they develop their own edge. That's what this is designed for. So this path that I'm sharing here is so that you have the quickest way to have success for long-term success in trading Forex. All right? So that's why I share this. So that's the path. And it probably sounds kind of weird that I say, hey, go somewhere else and then come back here. But part of it is I can't do as good of a job as Baby Pips has done at really explaining all the finer details of the Forex market. And what that actually alleviates me to actually focus on the advanced stuff and the stuff that's really going to matter. So that will be the remaining of the training. I fully understand. I think most people, this is probably only going to interest 25% of the people out there, the remainder of this video. And actually what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share a few things that I've researched and how I keep up with the markets I trade. And I'm going to actually do that in the next video. So there'll be an additional video in addition to the primer video. And what I'm going to share there is how looking at reports, and the Forex market is a really good market to do this in, where if you're looking to trade a market and you're looking to have an edge in the market, you want to understand what do the other people in the market, what are the other market participants, who are they first of all, and then what do they have to deal with, and how do they deal with that, and then how does that translate to what you see in a chart. And then also you want to understand what's affecting that market now. Also in the historical aspect of, one of the things I love to do is I like to go back 10 to 15 years and read old articles about the markets and see whether or not those actual predictions that people had came true. And usually there's a gem of something that is in those articles that actually translate to a trade idea or an opportunity that's 10 to 15 years old. In addition to that, what's going to be covered in the next video is how you can look at what's currently happening in the market and get a feeling for what the other market participants are dealing with, where they're going, where things are potential heading. That way you can adjust accordingly and you can be prepared. Even if you're not going to do the type of things that is happening in the market, at least you have a good understanding of that. So when I say Forex Geek stuff, a lot of this will be, and let me jump over to the browser real quick just to give you a feel what's in the next video. So we'll discuss stuff like the FX Global Code document and how there's gems in there of you understanding a market maker and the big banks. We'll go through stuff like the City Wealth Management Report. We'll talk about some of the interesting things that JP Morgan Chase has released. And I'll share some documents that I'm reading. This one here is price overreactions in the Forex and trading strategies. This is a grid trading robot system. I'll just share, like I said, things that go beyond the technical aspect of trading, but that inform. Here's the big thing, and this is what I'll mention, is that a lot of times you'll see something in a chart, you'll see behavior in a chart, and you want to understand who's on the other side of that behavior. So doing this type of research on the markets themselves and the future of the markets is what we'll cover in the next video. I mentioned that here at the tail end of the video. I was going to do it in this video, but that would make this video probably another 20 or 30 minutes long. So I'll just keep that one self-contained. So that's all for this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next training video.